When I grow up,
I want to know how to save for my future.
Find a job I like.
And start my own business.
When I grow up,
I want to know how to provide for my family.
Invest in my community and make a difference.
When I grow up.
When I grow up.
When I grow up.
when I grow up, I just want things to be different.
At Junior Achievement, we promote economic empowerment through education, but we can't do it alone.
What kind of person do you picture if I ask you to think of an entrepreneur? What about a leader? Or maybe a job creator? Would any of them make the cut? What if I told you that we help 10 million young people achieve their goals every year, all over the world? And in turn, they create jobs and prosperity. JA has been preparing young people for successful careers since 1919. You find us all across the globe, in more than 100 countries. We're getting young people ready for work. And we get results. Our students go on to excel as professionals, taking control of their lives and careers, and some even succeed beyond their wildest dreams. JA students learn to do things like balancing a budget, negotiating deals, setting goals, and working in teams. It's hands-on learning from professionals with real-life work experience. All our programs are based in 3 fundamental principles: work readiness, financial literacy, and entrepreneurship. For example, in JA Company program, young people learn how to start and run a business. In JA Job Shadow, a student joins a mentor in a professional work setting. And students in the JA More Than Money program study the ins and outs of earning, spending, and saving. And these are only 3 of the more than 50 different programs that JA offers. Our network of staff, volunteers, and partner schools reaches young people all over the world, from major cities to rural communities and everywhere in between. And it works, because we pay attention to the needs in each region, and then we customize our programs so that JA students will be ready for the job markets they're about to enter. We even customize our own name. But at the end of the day, we're all one JA, JA Worldwide. And the core of our organization is the same everywhere. JA inspires and prepares young people to succeed in a global economy. Whoever they are, wherever they are, JA activates young people for the future of jobs.
Okay, so good afternoon, everyone. So welcome to the EduComics kickoff and launch event. So while we are waiting for others, we will be starting in a bit. May I kindly request everyone who's already in the Zoom call to change your Zoom name into this format, name of school underscore your name. But if you're using one device, kindly change your Zoom name to the name of your school. Okay, we will be starting in a few minutes. Thank you. Okay, and then for a good event today, this afternoon, can I also request everyone to turn on their cameras while the event is ongoing? Okay, thank you so much.
Please welcome tonight's presentation of What I Want to Do.
When I grow up.
When I grow up,
I don't want to live paycheck to paycheck.
I don't want to cry when paying the bills.
when I grow up,
I don't want to be turned down for a business loan.
I don't want to borrow a lot for an education.
and then not know what to do with it.
When I grow up, I don't want to be paid less.
Told I'm underqualified.
Or overqualified.
When I grow up,
When I grow up,
I want to know how to save for my future.
Find a job I like.
And start my own business.
When I grow up.
I want to know how to provide for my family.
and invest in my community and make a difference.
When I grow up.
When I grow up,
When I grow up,
When I grow up. I just want things to be different.
At Junior Achievement, we promote economic empowerment through education, but we can't do it alone.
What kind of person do you picture if I ask you to think of an entrepreneur? What about a leader? Or maybe a job creator? Would any of them make the cut? What if I told you that we help 10 million young people achieve their goals every year, all over the world? And in turn, they create jobs and prosperity. JA has been preparing young people for successful careers since 1919. You find us all across the globe, in more than 100 countries. We're getting young people ready for work. And we get results. Our students go on to excel as professionals, taking control of their lives and careers, and some even succeed beyond their wildest dreams. JA students learn to do things like balancing a budget, negotiating deals, setting goals, and working in teams. It's hands-on learning from professionals with real-life work experience. All our programs are based in 3 fundamental principles: work readiness, financial literacy, and entrepreneurship. For example, in JA Company program, young people learn how to start and run a business. In JA Job Shadow, a student joins a mentor in a professional work setting. And students in the JA More Than Money program study the ins and outs of earning, spending, and saving. And these are only 3 of the more than 50 different programs that JA offers. Our network of staff, volunteers, and partner schools reaches young people all over the world, from major cities to rural communities and everywhere in between. And it works, because we pay attention to the needs in each region, and then we customize our programs so that JA students will be ready for the job markets they're about to enter. We even customize our own name. But at the end of the day, we're all one JA, JA Worldwide. And the core of our organization is the same everywhere. JA inspires and prepares young people to succeed in a global economy. Whoever they are, wherever they are, JA activates young people for the future of jobs.
Okay, so good afternoon, everyone. Okay, so to those who just entered our Zoom call, again, welcome to our event today. I would kindly request everyone who just entered the Zoom call to change your name into name of school underscore your name. But if you are sharing one device as a school, kindly change it to the name of your school. Okay. So with that, I would like to formally welcome each and every one of you to EduComics Program 2025 Kickoff and Launch event. Okay, so virtual applause and heart reacts, please, if you are very much excited for our program this afternoon. Yay! Okay, so on behalf of Junior Achievement of the Philippines, we would like to extend our heartfelt welcome to all of you. Okay, our partners from Johnson and Johnson. I would like to acknowledge our um, volunteers from Johnson and Johnson who are here with us in our event today. Of course, our dedicated teachers and students. I saw some students. Hello. Okay, to those who are at home, okay, as well. So everyone who's joining us today for our special occasion. So I would like to formally introduce myself. I am Nats from Junior Achievement of the Philippines, and I will be your host for today's program. So as I mentioned, I think it's so obvious with the enthusiasm in my voice that I am very, very excited, and it's such wonder. I feel wonderful to see all of you, both familiar faces and of course the new ones. So before we officially begin, I would love to hear from our students. Okay, so what are you most excited about in today's event? Okay, I sent that in the chat. Let's see. What are you excited most about today? Okay, I think they are a bit shy. So I'll get the conversation started. So I am very much excited to hear about the stories or the things and lessons that our mentors will share. Okay. And I think most of them would agree. All right. So I think let's not prolong this. Okay. Let's get our event started. So today is such a truly special event as we are. Okay. Someone answered, by the way. So, um, they said that they are excited about learning how to handle money. Oh, okay. That's pretty good. All right. So, as I mentioned, today is truly a special day as we launch another meaningful phase of the EduComics program. So, through this program, we aim to empower students by nurturing their creativity, strengthening their problem solving skills, and of course, inspiring them to use innovation and storytelling as a powerful tool to address real world community challenges, right? So, imagine, no, as early as now, you can create impact. Isn't that good news? Isn't that something that the world really needs right now? And I think this program is very, very special because you get to make you get to contribute impact to the world. So I think that's very, very beautiful. Okay, so this year's program brings new opportunities for collaboration, fresh ideas, and of course engaging experiences that we hope will spark imagination and encourage every student to become a young innovator in their own way. So now let me proudly introduce to you our organization. So I mentioned that I am from JA Philippines. So Junior Achievement of the Philippines has been a trusted partner in education for over 56 years. So we were established here in the Philippines on January 13, 1969, but JA is present in other countries as well. So we've dedicated ourselves here, JA Philippines, okay, in empowering young Filipinos through hands-on business and of course entrepreneurship education. So what sets us apart is our experiential learning approach. So we don't just teach concepts, we let students live them. And our mission is very much clear, which is to equip students with the skills that they need to succeed in a global economy. So to start businesses and also create opportunities for themselves and of course their communities. So we believe in the limitless potential of the Filipino youth, okay? So especially those who are in our Zoom call this afternoon, celebrating your creativity, integrity, and also your drive for excellence, okay? Did you know that JA Worldwide has reached over 100 million young people in its 92 years of empowering youth? Okay, so as I mentioned earlier, that JA Philippines is a member of JA Worldwide, and together through the years of hard work, okay, so we have contributed or reached out to 100 million youth. So that is such a beautiful story to share. With the help of over 400,000 volunteers. Okay, thank you so much. Without their help, we won't be able to continue to make a global impact, reaching to 10.2 million students across 123 countries every year. So this is such a powerful network that we are all a part of. And through your support, we are making sure that Filipino learners are included in the global movement for change. With all of those statistics, I am proud to share that our work has gained international recognition. So virtual palakpak or heart dyan, okay? Because we've been nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize, okay? And I think that reflects the global impact of youth entrepreneurship education. And true enough, no, we are proud recipients of multiple Stevie Awards, the Stevie Award in 2022, also the Bronze and Silver Stevie Award in 2024. So these awards validate our innovative approach to education and, of course, our impact to the Filipino youth. So more importantly, they demonstrate that our programs meet international standards of excellence. So with that, now let me proudly introduce our valued partner who has made this program possible. We have Johnson and Johnson. So send your heart reacts. Thank you so much to Johnson and Johnson. So Johnson and Johnson is a global leader in healthcare, spanning pharmaceuticals, biotechnology, and medical technologies. For decades, they have been dedicated to improving the health and well-being of people across the world, guided by their mission to keep individuals well at every age and, of course, at every stage of their lives. So beyond their scientific and medical achievements, Johnson & Johnson remains deeply committed to creating a positive and lasting impact on communities. So they continue to use their extensive reach and, of course, resources to advance access to quality healthcare, promote affordability, and help build stronger, healthier communities. So their vision is grounded in not only in innovation but also in compassion, ensuring that a healthy mind, body, and environment are within reach for everyone everywhere. So we are truly grateful for their continued partnership and unwavering support for the EduComics program. Their dedication empowers young learners to imagine, create, and innovate solutions that can make a meaningful difference in their community. So at this point, we would like to hear a few words from our partner, who is a seasoned information security and risk management leader with over 17 years of experience safeguarding digital systems and navigating complex cybersecurity challenges across Asia Pacific. She currently serves as the Information Security and Risk Management Lead for Johnson & Johnson's innovative medicine sector, where she also champions the ISRM Women in Cyber program in Asia Pacific, which drives mentoring sessions, speed networking events, and advocacy efforts to uplift women in the field. She is a cum laude graduate of the University of the Philippines, Tacloban, and a Philippine certified public accountant. She began her career in a male dominated world of Information Risk Management in KPMG Philippines. She later earned global certifications such as Certified Information Systems Auditor or CISA and Certified Information Security Manager or CISM, placing second top notcher in the Philippines for the 2017 CISM exam. She served as last school year program's co-lead for the EduComics under J&J's We STEM 2D, promoting STEM learning for young students. Please join me in welcoming Miss Mona Raganit. Okay, virtual applause.
Good afternoon, everyone. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. Okay. Okay, so good afternoon, EduComics champion. To our brilliant students across the Philippines, to our Department of Education officials, teachers, and school heads, our guests, our partners, of course, from GA Philippines. Thank you for being here today. So today, it actually marks the start of something exciting, something creative and powerful, because this is the launch of EduComics, where learning meets imagination and imagination becomes your superpower. I'm here. I'm representing Johnson& and Johnson Wisdom 2D, and let me first share with you who we are. On the screen, you'll see Wisdom 2D. So Johnson& Johnson has actually been championing Wisdom 2D talent or STEM 2D talent for more than 135 years, starting with, of course, our 14 trailblazing manufacturing workers and growing into a global movement. In 2015, we launched our WeSTEM 2D. So that means now we're actually celebrating our 10th year, powered by more than 4,000 J&J volunteers worldwide. WeSTEM 2D stands for winning in science, technology, engineering, mathematics, and of course we're in Johnson& and Johnson, so we still have additional another M, manufacturing and design. Our mission is simple but powerful. That is to inspire and empower young women and men to pursue STEM 2D through access, engagement, and skill building, because STEM 2D leaders change the world. That's what we believe in. Here in the Philippines, Wisdom 2D started way back 2020. This year, we're led by our sponsor, Heidi Soria, and of course, our youth pillar champion, Mercy or Yeyet Soriano. Um, we are joined with our growing team of 13 passionate volunteers. Imagine we just started with just 4 volunteers. Now we've grown so much, reaching 13 passionate volunteers. And together with GA Philippines, we've run 6 youth-focused programs, and EduComics is one of the biggest, now on its 5th year, reaching a target of 88,000 students nationwide. Last year, I actually saw firsthand how bold, creative, and innovative our EduComics winners were. The students' ideas were all incredible, nakakabilib at their very young age. And that is why EduComics is not simply just comics, right? I know it's a comics integrated in your curriculum, but it also culminates in the technology innovation plan competition, where your imagination can transform into real, meaningful solutions. And this year, it's even more exciting. As you may have noticed, our W in Wisdom 2D now stands for winning. So we've shifted from women, now it's called winning. Why? Because each one of you, yes, you, has the power to win creativity, to win in STEM 2D, to win in dreams, and to win in life. And EduComics will help you discover that power. Let me also tell you something that's important. The future, it doesn't belong to the smartest. It belongs to the most curious, the most creative, and the most courageous. And I know all of our students joining us today, all our Filipino students, all three, because you ask questions. I know you guys explore, you experiment, you imagine worlds that don't exist, and someday that world is something that you will build. So today, As we kick off EduComics 2025, I want you to hold this winning mindset in your heart. Tell yourself, kaya ko to. My ideas matter, my voice matters, and I can win. So let's imagine, let's create, let's innovate, and let's inspire, and let's all win this together. Welcome to EduComics, and let the creativity begin. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Miss Mona. So not only were the students inspired, parang even I, okay? And I think I love the fact that you said that sometimes it's not the smartest room, the smartest person. It's the person who is curious. And I think I love that because that's very true. So even if you are smart, okay, in nature, sometimes if we don't use it properly, or we set it aside, no, sayang
Mm,
But then natatalo sila ng people, or they're beaten by people who have so much passion, so much
yeah.
ideas. So thank you so much for that. Even I got inspired. So thank you. And I love that it's all about winning now. And I believe everyone here in the Zoom call, the fact that you showed up today, showed your interest, and is ready to enter this new phase with EduComics, you are already winners because you are stepping into a territory that you've never tried, right? So this is all about unleashing the potential what's in you. So thank you so much once again, Miss Mona Raganit. So thank
Thank
you. Such a beautiful message. Okay. So I think that was a good introduction. That was a good way to begin our kickoff. So if you heard from Miss Mona, she said that the batch last year was really outstanding. But I think, okay, every batch is going to exceed, okay, what they've done last year. Okay, so it's all about being better. And I think each and every one of you here have been chosen because you have that capacity and you have that creativity within you. Okay. So before we begin this kickoff, let us all have a recap on what EduComics is about. So the platform showcases the beauty of science in a way that makes it both engaging and accessible for students of the 5th and 6th grade who are interested in the STEM 2D field. So what makes EduComics unique is it is interactive and virtually engaging nature, allowing students to not only enhance their problem solving skills, but also improve their reading proficiency, all while having fun. So these illustrations are quirky and vibrant, giving the new learners a feel good vibe that truly elevates the learning experience. So through EduComics, students will have the opportunity to explore and understand a wide range of fascinating topics, from ecosystems and forces and energy to the human body, organ systems, matter, and so much more. That's just the beginning. So this isn't just about learning science, it's about expanding your knowledge in a way that is colorful, creative, and exciting, keeping your mind and body energized as you discover the world of science in a whole new light. So that's what I'm really excited about. So for this year, I think Ms. Mona kind of mentioned it. We're excited to announce that EduComics program will now be open to both boys and girls from grade 6. So by expanding our inclusivity, we aim to reach more young learners and provide them with an opportunity to explore creativity, innovation, and problem solving through this unique and meaningful learning experience. We are also targeting 20,000 grade 6 students from Negros Occidental, Region 10, Sultan Kudarat, and Muntinlupa City. We believe that every student, regardless of gender, has the potential to imagine new possibilities, create impactful ideas, and of course, contribute solutions to real world challenges. And imagine doing all of that in grade 6. The students that are here today, you guys have impact. So I think that's very beautiful. And this year, we are thrilled to welcome a broader group of bright young minds will embark on this fun, engaging, and of course, transformative journey with us. So, get ready to dive into the world of learning and make it fun. So, here's what's coming in our EduComics journey. So, we begin with our kickoff event. Okay, so this is what's happening now, where teachers and students meet the EduComics program for the first time. From December to January, we will roll out the EduComics across classrooms. So this is where the magic really happens because students get to explore science through colorful and interactive stories. Then in January, teams will start bringing their ideas to life. They will start creating their tech innovation plan. In the same month, they will also be submitting their outputs. And in February, it all leads to the exciting STEM at Work and finals where creativity, innovation, and teamwork will shine on stage. So now that we've learned more about the goals and impact of the EduComics program, we move on to the most exciting part of our event today, which is the panel discussion. So this year's theme is innovation for a sustainable future. In this segment, we'll hear from our esteemed panelists who will share their insights on how science, technology, creativity, and youth innovation can help build stronger, healthier, and more sustainable communities. Their experiences and perspectives will guide us in understanding how young learners, like our grade 6 students here in our Zoom call, participants can spark meaningful change even at a young age. So before we begin our discussion, allow me to introduce our esteemed panelists who will be sharing their insights on innovation for a sustainable future. For our first panelist, she is a postdoctoral fellow in chemical and biological engineering, at HKUST, where she also earned her PhD. She currently holds a Research Talent Hub fellowship and has established herself as a leading voice in her field, delivering keynote presentations and international conferences across the US, Europe, and Asia. Her research was also recently recognized with the 2024 Anita Conti Fellowship for her work at University Paris Cité. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. France. Let us all welcome Dr. Sheena Garcia. So, hearts.
Hello, everyone. It's very nice seeing young minds here. Thank you, Nats, for the kind introduction.
Yay, thank you. I'm looking forward for our discussion later. Next, we have a licensed civil engineer. She is currently pursuing a straight Doctor of Philosophy and Master of Engineering in Artificial Intelligence at the National Graduate School of Engineering, University of the Philippines, Diliman. She holds 2 master's degree from Hult International Business School, International Business, Business Analytics, and International Marketing, earned with multiple global scholarships. A UP Civil Engineering graduate with and consistent academic awardee since high school. She brings together technical expertise, business insight, and a strong record of excellence in leadership. Let us all welcome Engineer Angelica Munar.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Nice meeting you.
Yay, thanks so much, Engineer. Looking forward for our conversation later. And our last panelist is a passionate advocate for organizational growth and societal impact, bringing over 9 years of experience in governance, risk, compliance, sustainability, strategy, and innovation. She currently serves as Portfolio Governance Manager at Johnson & Johnson Global Services Finance, strengthening organizational resilience through data-driven solutions, and champions diversity and inclusion as Women's Leadership and Inclusion Philippines lead. Ms. Rochelle also empowers future leaders as a lecturer at De La Salle University, Manila. Oh, that's my school. And guides Philippine companies on best practices as an internal auditor for GAPP. Previously, she led finance and risk transformation consulting at PwC Philippines, She is a Philippine certified public accountant, holds a master's degree in innovation and business from the Asian Institute of Management, and is an OCEG certified GRC auditor and integrated risk management professional. Let's all welcome Miss Rochelle De Chavez. De Chavez. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, so now that we have introduced our esteemed panelists, it's time to begin our panel discussion on innovation for sustainable future. So to guide our conversation and make the most of our panelists' expertise, we have prepared a set of thought-provoking questions that touch on the key theme, such as the role of science and technology in solving community problems, the power of creativity in driving innovation, and tips for young innovators on balancing fun and learning. So we hope that this discussion will inspire our participants and audience to think critically about how innovation can make a positive impact on our communities and the world. So if you have questions, feel free to message it in the chat. But now let us dive into the first question. My first question for all three of our panelists is that what role do young people play in developing or supporting technological solutions for community challenges? I think anyone could go. Okay.
Sige, I guess I can go ahead. Well, in my opinion, the youth are really a source of fresh ideas kasi. So even when I go around, talking to boards of directors of like some of the biggest companies here in the Philippines, I think usually where the youth really come in is that they provide that external insight, right? Especially, for example, when you think about things like technology, now that we have, artificial intelligence, these may potentially be things that they're not that the more older generations, to put it very bluntly, might not necessarily have the same level of exposure to. So the youth are really there to bring, those fresh ideas. At the same time, it's also to bring in that external insight in terms of, for example, topics like sustainability. If I look back to previous generations, and this is something I talk about when I do my future work discussion to these companies as well. Um, Nowadays the younger generations, particularly the Gen Zers plus those belonging to Gen Alpha, they're much more aware of what's happening in the world from a sustainability standpoint. And those are the issues that, they when they go into these meetings, when they go into these boardrooms, they go on to highlight and really talk about, because these are things that they are experiencing from one day to the next, diba? Kita lang natin pag nagkakaroon ng bagyo, during summer we have a lot of heat waves. The first people that typically get impacted are the students, diba? We're forced to transition to online classes. There's a lot, if not online classes, potentially even class suspension, diba? So we're first and foremost the ones who are impacted, and therefore, again, we're in the best position to really give all of that insight to the people around us.
Thank you so much, Miss Rochelle. And I actually agree, no. So um I think yung the students, I think even at a year early age, no, since they're part of the Gen Alpha already, right? And it's very true that since they're experiencing the world in a different way as we did growing up, because we grew up in a different generation. We grew up in a time where technology was a bit limited. There is, but limited. But now, with their exposure, I think they would have fresher ideas, and I think that is very much correct. So thank you so much, Mr. Shell. Anyone who wants to?
Okay, so I can go next. Okay, so actually, in my field, in research, the team usually consists of a student. It may be a PhD student or a master student, a senior researcher, for example, a postdoctoral fellow, which has a PhD degree, and our supervisor or our professor. So at that field, usually the PhD student is the one which is considered as a young mind. And usually in those teams, we appreciate each and every one even the young students. So usually, diba, the notion is usually yung mga matatanda, they are very much more expert, and yung mga bata, what is their role? Usually, that's the question. But actually, they have a very important role, as what Miss Rochelle has shared a while ago. They are the source of creativity because they provide innovative solutions. So in our field, wherein, for example, you're from one field to another, you will give fresh perspective. So something which the team has not yet thought of because they're expert in something more deeper than your field. So in that sense, you're contributing in a new light, in a new perspective, and in a new aspect. And to add to that, because the new generation are very much more exposed to technology, then these students, especially the young ones present here with us today, the elementary school people, actually they grew up already with technology, with laptops. Right now, even our conversation is happening online, and usually, these are very important skills that you could use. You could leverage these skills to actually create something very advanced. Because now we're very much more exposed to technology. Usually, students whom I have mentored already are creating prototypes. So these prototypes are conducted through technology. They use software, or they try to show the material, the creativity they have in their mind. So even if they don't use the budget to build it or construct it physically, you already have the prototype or the software already. So you can already prove your creativity through it without spending much money. And lastly, I believe in research and development. The young students can engage in several research projects. They can do a lot of internship and explore new technologies. And from these, they could contribute to evidence-based solutions. So for some people who are more inclined to conduct experiments, they could discover something new in science, because in science it's very complex. Sometimes we have our hypothesis based on the books that we are reading, but then we'll discover something new. And actually, on those new things, those are the ones which are very much interesting. Usually, these are not the easiest things that we could do, kasi 'di ba kung madali, na-discover na ng other people before you. But actually, it is when we find some things which are paradoxical, parang uncertain, or something different, medyo mag-spark pa siya ng a lot of passion and curiosity. And also what Miss Mona has shared a while ago, 'di ba? Being curious is very important. In my field, usually you conduct experiment a lot of times until you get what you wanted, until you get a good result. So usually, if you're not curious in that field, syempre sobrang daming trials nun, di ba? Parang pagod na ako, ayoko na. Usually, ganun nangyayari. But if you're really curious about it, hindi mo siya susukuan hanggat hindi mo nakukuha yung gusto mo. And that's really something I admire to the young people. If they could stay determined, passionate, and curious, then I think they have a long way to go. And even now, I could already see the potentials of these students. Yeah, that's for me. Thank you.
Yes, I agree. So I agree, Machina, no. So I think I've had this encounter with a student. So in their province, okay, because this student lives in Cebu. So recently they we knew the disaster and the tragedy in Cebu. So one of the things that this student did was create a big umbrella, like well, they haven't executed it in person, but a big umbrella that transforms to a lifeboat. So I think that comes from their innovative mind. And I think this student was still in high school, but he was able to come up with that concept alone, which I personally would not think of, right? So to those students who are here right now, if you are feeling like you're a bit discouraged, or somehow like, oh, I am curious but I don't know where to start, right? I think you could start with what are the everyday challenges that your community faces. what is it that's bothering you? Or if there is something, my mentor, my professor would also tell me that sometimes it's the small things that we just tolerate every day. Maybe we can improve that process. And then from there you get to spark your curiosity. So I think thank you so much for that. How about you, engineer?
Yes. So I actually have two main words for the roles of the kids, grade elementary level kids when it comes to this question. Number one is of course to be the receiver. Okay. Because as Dr. Garcia was mentioning a while ago, they're developing a lot of prototypes, laboratories. Of course, syempre, knowledge. And then, wait lang. Just question, I'm not choppy, no? Hindi naman.
You are po.
A bit.
Yes.
Oh, no. Wait, let me try to change my... How about this one? Is it way better?
Yes.
Okay. Sige. Ayan. So, I'll just repeat what I said. So, I have two main words for this question. So, number one is being the receiver. Because, at their age, at the elementary level, they don't know anything yet that much when it comes to technology. Of course, yung mga nasa edad namin nila, Dr. Garcia and then the other panelists, we have the knowledge to create something already. Like something not that big, but, to give something, to give an impact, something impactful on the society. So first, they have to be the receiver. Kasi they grew up, for example, in the world where smartphones already began. Okay? So, ang nakikita naman natin when they see smartphones or tablets or iPad, they have the tendency to study what's in front of them. Okay? And then second word is to be a critic. Okay? Kasi di ba, may kita mo sabihin nila, ay, ang bagal naman, kailangan bilisan. So, kapag narinig kasi yun ng mga businessman or the tech development world, may isip nila, oo nga, no? Parang kailangan natin itong bilisan. We have to make this more efficient. So, it's their two roles, okay? So, why am I saying this? Because the first panelist a while ago mentioned something about AI, okay? And then, of course, I'm taking AI right. Last year, I attended a seminar, AI Horizon. So, the first seminar about AI here in the Philippines. Meron dong isang segment, something about agriculture. So, technically, farming, farmers. So ano yung sinasabi nung nag-develop ng technology na yun? We want to help the farmers be more efficient in planting. So they made a drone. Yung drone mismo yung nagtatanim. Okay? Pero, ang problema dito, hindi tinatanggap ng mga traditional farmers natin yung drone. Bakit? Kasi sanay na sila sa mga manual nilang ginagawa. So technically, they don't want to adapt any other technology because the learning curve would be much different. Kasi lumaki sila sa age na hindi naman abundant ang technology. So now, the strategy being made right here now is to have the youth, okay, be inclined into this type of technology. Because yes, naiintindihan natin na medyo close-minded yung iba kasi sanay na sila dito. And that works, di ba? Versus a new technology na hindi mo alam kung mag-work ba talaga siya versus the other. Okay? So the goal now here is we need to teach the youth how this works and how would this improve the life of other people. So that in the next generations to come, of course, hindi naman natin tatanggalin yung mga dating practices. It's still there. Okay? But of course, time is equivalent to money. Okay? Again, time is equivalent to money. So, when we think about that, pag matuto tayo ma-receive, okay, matuto rin tayo mag-critic, it would be a better world for everyone. So, that's what I can say from my side.
Thank you so much, engineer. So yes, correct, no? So I think it's also your role as students right now. So it's not to fix all of the problems also. It's also just to start with as mentioned, no, like be a receiver and also criticize as well. So I think that's a very good point because as I mentioned earlier, sometimes no there's so many problems in the world. As we go out of our house, the comfort of our commuting, pollution, there's a lot of things, no? But it focuses we can handle this one problem at a time. Okay? Because I think all of you, if you chosen, for example, one specific, at least you'd get better at it through time. So I think that would be your biggest contribution, okay? And then, but we're here naman in our generation today na parang we are open to new knowledges, of course, and um especially that AI got brought up. So I think students, okay, don't forget to be ethical when you're using AI, okay? I think it's a great tool. AI is not the enemy. It is how you use it, okay? And not how you choose not to be dependent towards it, okay? Because our minds will become dull if we have our whole lives depend on AI, okay? Just a quick reminder to the students. Okay, next is, can you share a moment to our panelists? Can you share a moment in your career where a creative idea led to a meaningful innovation? For this one, I'll start with Miss Sheena, and then
Okay, so actually, most of my innovative ideas led to new discoveries, which are actually internationally published manuscripts because I'm in the field of research. So so usually people will be in the field of science or engineering, and usually the engineerings would have their applications in their material in itself. And since I am more on the science aspect, usually what we are doing is that we are researching and we are sharing to the community our new discoveries. So for example, one of my first author publication research. So it means when you're a first author, you're the leader of the team, and you are conducting the research as the lead. And one of my research is actually involving silica nanoparticles. For the students here who might be interested, nanoparticles from their name are nano, meaning nanometer in size, very small. So if you will try to imagine the size of these nanoparticles, you get one strand of your hair and try to imagine dividing it by 1,000. So that's how small these nanoparticles are. So maybe it might be a new term, especially for our elementary students, but these are very promising materials because they have a very small size, which make their properties unique and very much more applied to industries because, for example, they could be used in biomedicine, in catalysis, and in other sustainable practices. And one of the things that we have actually discovered is the silicon nanoparticles before, which were previously believed to be safe, could actually be unsafe in some applications. They are, for example, the silicon nanoparticles are before um, conceptually accepted as making other nanomaterials inert and not very reactive. Yet, actually, what's happening is they also have their own toxicity. It may be much more less than the toxicity of the other nanoparticles before, but they still have their toxicity. So in a way, we are trying to convince the other researchers to reevaluate the safety aspect of this nanomaterial. We may bioengineer them to make them more applicable for biomedical applications and to ensure that they adhere to the regulatory considerations in terms of medicine. So, one way of a sustainable future, or one aspect of that, is actually ensuring that a material is safe to be used. So in that way, I am contributing to sustainability. And also, just to share a few more, one of our publication also, because one way on how you can publish a paper and contribute to science is determine the gap on the knowledge already. So, for example, we have determined that actually not a lot of people are researching on the uptake of a nanoparticle in a plant system, and if this nanoparticle could go out of the plant. So yung implication kasi if this nanoparticle could go out of the plant is that these plants aid in the dispersion of this nanoparticle in the atmosphere. And so we humans could actually inhale these nanoparticles. So that's a new knowledge that we contribute to the world, to the science community. And at the same time, these research related to safety are lagging behind. Usually, we just try to promote things, and then the responsible usage is already nasa back na siya kasi we all want to promote it. But we always need to weigh, in my perspective, we always need to weigh the advantages and the disadvantages of an innovation to ensure that we're not affecting the future and the next generations. Yeah, that's for me.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sheena. Let's hear it po from engineer.
All right, so yeah, from my side, actually, I've been sharing a lot about ACI Eco Concrete from the years back because I've been here in WSTEM 2D for a few years already. Okay. I also had one innovation absenteeism program here at the office, but it's too technical. So I'm choosing one of my favorites, dementia prediction. Kids, do you know what dementia is? It's kind of like Alzheimer's, wherein when someone grows old, let's say 80 years old or 90 years old, they have the tendency to already forget things. Diba? Yung mga lolo-lola na nanilimutan yung mga bagay or kaya pa ulit-ulit. Okay? Yun yung Alzheimer's, okay? / dementia. So what is the innovation I'm saying? It's actually a homework in my doctoral degree right now. Okay? One of my first projects in PhD. So what does this do? So I made a program, in its coding, AI na, I made a program wherein if you're gonna feed them data, okay, or MRI scan, okay, so technically, nasa medical field, okay, so papakainin ko siya ng maraming MRI para malaman ni code or ni program or ng laptop, gano'n na lang. So, I'll use the term laptop, okay, para malaman ng laptop na, okay, ito yung hitsura ng Alzheimer. Ito yung hitsura na walang Alzheimer. Maraming ganon. So, parang pina-flashcard ko siya. Tinatesting ko yung laptop ko na, okay, ito, picture na to, may Alzheimer. Next picture, walang Alzheimer. Next picture, meron. So on, so forth. So, this innovation actually led me to have dementia or Alzheimer's be determined 5 years before the onset. Okay, again, 5 years before the onset. So, ano yung contribution niya pagdating sa isang tao? Okay, syempre, pag nalaman na nung tao na possible pala na magka-dementia ako, ang ginagawa niya, inaayos niya yung lifestyle niya. Binabawasan niya yung sugar, tinatanggal niya yung sigarilyo, nababawasan yung pag-inom niya, more on nag-exercise yung tao, kumakain siya ng healthy, nagtatanggal sila ng junk food. So it's one of the most impactful things that we can do when it comes to the medical field. Actually, PGH has been utilizing the minds of OUP students that I have to have these types of technologies or innovations be delivered to the UP and the Philippine system rather, okay? Philippine systems. Bakit? Kasi kung pupunta ka ngayon sa ospital, minsan diba ang tagal nila mag-asikaso. Ang tagal. Kasi minsan yung doktor pa nag-iisip, teka lang, yung MRI na to, yung resulta na to, meron ba tong dementia o wala? Hindi niya malaman eh. Whereas, pag meron ka ng computer na pwede magsabi sa'yo na, hala, magkaka-dementia ka 5 years from now, mas naagapan mo, di ba? So that means it would give you less expenses in the future kapag naiwasan. So that's one of my favorite ideas. Because it's something new, something unusual, and it's actually very, very helpful to actually to all of us. So yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, engineer. Now, giving the floor to Miss Rochelle.
Sure. Thanks. So I guess off of the top of my head, I have like probably like three examples. Although I think it kind of differs with Dr. Sheena's and Engineer Angelica's examples because some of them are very business centric. Particularly, for example, how I do my talks on innovation sustainability, di ba? Historically kasi, when you tackle, some of the more core business topics in front of like management people, typically kinukuha yan in isolation eh. So you talk about innovation by itself, you talk about risk management by itself, you talk about sustainability by itself. I think one thing that I've started to really do from an innovation standpoint is to really find a way to merge them into a single umbrella. And what I came up with was a framework that I call sustainable risk-driven strategy planning. Basically, it's a framework that tells, managers, how do you bring in and talk about, the very broad and vast topics of innovation, sustainability, and risk management, and, just run-of-the-mill business strategy all at the same time. How that works, diba? Typically, you go at it in isolation, but then the idea is by bringing, elements like innovation and sustainability into sharper focus in terms of what companies, yung plans nila to achieve their, annual targets. How do you weave all of that into the day-to-day, operations of the company? So that's one example. My second example was actually, I was fortunate enough back when I was still taking up my grad studies at the Asian Institute of Management. We had my group and I had the chance of participating into an innovation competition ourselves. And I think what I came to realize during that competition is that sometimes you can be inspired by nature. So what we ended up doing kasi the challenge ang case na inassign sa amin was how do you make spaces, hotels and or office spaces that much more energy efficient. And I think what we came up with as an idea was, oh, merong mga kinetic tiles, diba? This is a technology that's being used in, for example, yung mga Coldplay concerts in certain stops abroad. Ang ginagawa, dun sa area of the concert where you have a lot of people dancing, they put up those tiles. And the idea is that with each and every single step na inaapak ng tao dun or, as they dance, that generates power. So we thought of, why not put that, for example, into lobbies of hotels, into lobbies of buildings. And then you tie it up with an art installation. So ang concept namin was isang puno siya na gumagalaw, made out of metal. And the idea is that internally there's like a battery that gets charged, that powers the tree, and also the power that gets generated for free off of the kinetic tiles. That's something that can be used to, you know, that can be used by people sitting underneath the kinetic art installation tree to charge their devices. And then similarly, back when I was still taking up my grad studies as well, actually yung pinaka thesis paper namin, or rather in our case it was a capstone project. So ni-required kaming gumawa ng innovation solution. Our innovation solution was actually to create a portable toilet. No, it's very ironic. I come from an accountancy background, but then we realized kasi that when you think of the Philippines and when you think of our propensity to getting impacted by disasters, ba? It's often the case na pag nagkaroon ng sakuna, there are some families that will unfortunately be forced to evacuate. So our inspiration at the time was, why don't we create something that you can pack up in a bag, you can bring with you to the evacuation center, or alternatively, it's something that can be readily deployed, kind of like tents by the LGUs on the ground. Bakit kami na-inspire? Partially because we had some classmates who were talking about their experiences being part of the evacuation teams there in Tacloban. They had food, they had shelter. Even though may constraints, kahit papaano may napaghahati-hatian. Ang sinabi nilang pinaka-problema talaga nila at the time outside of the supplies being in short supply, was really just the fact that if you think about sanitation facilities, it's very important, but it's not really something that people, would think about. But yeah, that's how we came up with our product. And yun yeah, from a sustainability standpoint, things that we incorporated into that idea, diba? If I'm not sure if some of you have seen yung mga kiosks or in the malls where you can like donate sachets. So there are some companies kasi that turn those sachets into polyboards. They're basically compressed plastic boards, but they're pretty strong. So that's what we use to manufacture yung box for our portable toilet. And then the idea was that panels siya. So para siyang Lego na pwede mong buuhin. And then pag hindi nyo na kailangan yung portable toilet, you can also dismantle it. Yung pwede nyo siyang i-disassemble. And then the other innovation that we incorporated into it, and this was thankfully in partnership with some of the researchers there, over in the Rice Research Institute. Kasi the problem is, diba, it's a toilet. So one of the bigger problems actually when it comes to evacuation is that sometimes wala ring water supply. So outside of the portable toilets or the toilets being kulang, diba? Because there are probably like hundreds of families there in the centers all at the same time. So kulang yung facilities. Wala ring masyadong tubig. So we needed to develop a solution that practically relied on nothing water related. So what we came up with in partnership with the Rice Research Institute was, unfortunately, it's still something that we're trying to research and develop. But the concept was, use yung mga rice husks, 'di ba? So, 'di ba, yung kinakain nating bigas, that's only one part of the rice plant eh. Typically what happens is that pag inaani yan, yung stalk, yung shell, tas tinatanggal yung bigas from inside the shell or the husk. So yung husk na yan, tsaka yung stalk, usually sinusunog na lang yan. So the concept was, why can't we use that as an organic material and use it as a compound, to treat the waste, the human waste. So, yung number one and number two natin. So yeah, so I'd say, it was something that was born out of, inspired by nature, but also born out of a particular need. But then it's something that personally, amongst all of the projects that I work with, but there's quite a few that I've done within companies. But I think what that experience also says is that there's no limit to good ideas. You don't necessarily have to be in a particular background to create something that's inherently unique and or different. But I mentioned the group kami. So just to explain who our group, yung composition ng group namin, accountant ako, yung kasamahan ko, a banker siya, so sa bangko siya nagtatrabaho. Yung isa, architect, pero more of interior design yung specialization niya. And then yung last one namin, family business and marketing ang specialization niya. So clearly, di ba, there was no single one of us na, are really into like the engineering, the hard sciences. But to a certain extent, di ba, with the help of, in being inspired by what's available there in nature, and at the same time having those opportunities to also talk to scientists and engineers. That's how we came up with that particular solution.
Thank you, Miss Rochelle. Actually, what same kami ni Miss Rochelle ng takeaway from all of your creative ideas that became an innovation. So I think none of you three, came from the same background, and most of the innovations or your ideas came from your own personal experiences. And I think that could be the biggest thing that the students can take away. And you can see that we have Doc Sheena who focuses on research. We have engineer who focuses on AI, and also Miss Rochelle who excels in sustainability and also creating solutions. But none is better than the other. All of their ideas and solutions are impactful. They help improve lives with what they do. So I want all of the students to remember that whatever you come up with, okay, do not discredit, okay, your ideas. Sometimes, no, we have an idea, but no, it doesn't sound good, it doesn't look good, it doesn't seem feasible, it's too big. No, do not discredit your idea, because most of their innovations just came from ideas. Okay, so all you have to do is believe in your ideas. So now we're moving on to our last question. So our last question would be, what advice would you give, or strategies would you recommend to young innovators who want to explore new ideas? So let's start now with engineer.
Hello. Okay, I actually have one thing to say, pero pwede kong hawakan. Okay, once you feel it, go. That's it. Pag na-feel mo yung isang bagay, sunggaban mo na siya agad. Why? Because as mentioned a while ago, di ba, hindi kami pare-pareho ng background ng co-panelists ko ngayon. Diba? For a while.
Okay, let's wait na lang po. But I do understand the point, no? So I think even I know I'm a business major. Oh, and at times, no, when I see students like this, I remind myself that, okay, I'm here in, there goes engineer. Take it away po.
Sorry for that, just emergency. Okay. Okay, so sabi ko, once you feel it, go. Okay, so for example, three of us, the panelists, we have different backgrounds. I actually always receive na you took bachelor's in civil engineering, and then you took your master's in business, and then your master's in marketing, and then now PhD AI. So the main reason for that is, if I feel that this path is for me, I grab it. Okay, I grab every opportunity I have. Because I'm pretty sure that every single decision I'll be making, it's not only for my own good, but for the good of all other people. Okay? So, for example, medyo mahirap kasi yun, yung marami kang iniisip, marami kang pinagdadaanan. Pero, one thing that I developed there is I I learned to not limit myself. Okay, gaya ng sinasabi ng host natin today, na huwag ikaw yung magsabing hindi maganda yung idea mo. Why? Because for example, sige, sa sa work na lang, kung mag-apply ka sa work, pag sinabi mo sa sarili mo, ay hindi ko to kaya eh, it's automatically a no. Okay? Compared as to when we have something na nag-apply ka and then you let, okay, your employer say if you're fit for the job or not. Okay, what if yes ka pala? What if sobra-sobra ka sa standards nila? So that is actually an opportunity lost if hindi mo siya tinuloy. And of course, next one, as kids, I want to let you know that you always have to follow your heart. Okay? Kung anong gusto mo, maging passion mo, most likely dun ka dadali ng mga paa mo. Kasi yun yung plano sa'yo ni God. And then, of course, minsan may mahirap tayong mga pupuntahan. So, if you must cry, if you need to cry kasi hindi mo kaya, okay lang. Ilabas mo yun, okay? Lahat ng tao nahihirapan. May mga tao lang na magaling magdala. Pero, kaya, okay? Kakayanin siya, basta ilagay mo lang yung puso mo doon. And then, of course, find something that can balance your life. Because engineering is very technical. So, hinahanapan ko siya ng way na mabalik, hindi mawala, rather. Hindi mawala yung Angelica na kilala ko. Okay? So, parang for example, I do a lot of numbers, but I also love public speaking. I love dancing, singing. So, yun yung pambalanse ko. And lastly, the most important thing is sleep. Okay? Wag na wag yung tanggalin sa life nyo ang sleep. Because even if you're innovating, okay, your creative juices would be squeezed out that much. Pero mas maganda pag marami yung tulog nyo. Kasi mas maisip nyo yung details at yung mga kailangang problema isolve sa world. So yeah, that's it.
Thank you so much, engineer. And actually, that's correct, no? Na you, okay, I think, no, especially we are young, those who are students here, for sure, gusto nyo nagpupuyat, scrolling through your IG, TikTok, Reels, okay? I think number one, sulitin nyo na yung sleep while you can. And then also, that's very correct that nourishment is very, very much important. Also, taking care of yourself. So, thank you so much for that, engineer. Now we move on to Miss Rochelle for your advice.
Sure. I think some of my advice also kind of is the same as engineers, but I think number one, dasal kayo. Kasi the thing is, nothing will really happen correctly in your life if walang, proper divine intervention. So please always make sure that you take the time to pray, to Lord to guide you towards the right path. Secondly, yun yeah, be like a sponge, but this was something that engineer also mentioned a while ago. Absorb lang kayo ng knowledge. Quite honestly, even yung mga weird na maintenance na trabaho sa opisina, sometimes I do on my own. Kasi bakit? It exposes you to things na who knows, 'di ba, later on baka magagamit niyo pala. Case in point, because I grew up with a dad who is an electrical engineer, mahilig siya mag-DIY around the house. Eventually, one day, naalala ko sa opisina, may isang locker kaming nag-jam. So, hindi mabuksan ng susi. So, guess what? Ang ginamit ko is yung skills na nakita ko from my dad. Um, Basically, may ginawa ko dun sa lock, nabuksan siya. So, so, 'di ba? Short of saying, 'di ba, there are things that you come to realize you'll find out later on na ayun pala feel mo parang walang kwenta ginagawa mo, but reality magagamit niyo pala. Actually, how I landed even yung trabaho ko ngayon sa J&J. My work in J&J kasi is parang nagma-manage ako ng portfolio ng projects. That's not something that accountants would typically actually do. Kasi ang role ng accountants, usually nagko-compute ka ng numbers, may pera, nag-a-account ka. It's a little bit different. But then, because one day, may nag-resign sa opisina namin dun sa dati kong work, sabi nila, kailangan namin ng replacement na is going to be willing to do this part-time. Uh, ako, medyo bibo-bibo at the time kasi bata pa ako eh. Sabi ko, I have a lot of energy. So take advantage also of the fact na bata pa kayo and you have a lot of energy pa. Kasi that's something that will eventually decrease over time. Yun yeah. You don't want to go to a point rin na maubos nyo yung energy nyo. Kasi doon na magsisimula yung magkakasakit kayo, et cetera, et cetera. So, tamang level of bibo lang din. But going back to the story, yun nga, because sabi ko, sige, it's something that I'll do. So, ending ko was 8 to 5, di ba usual office, 8 to 5 lang, 5 o'clock nag-uwian na yung mga tao ko, hanggang 8 na sa office pa ako kasi may ginagawa kong extra na work. But then because of that extra work, that's how, nag-apply ako sa J&J. At the time sabi ko, I wanted to move to a different workplace. Um, Sabi ko, sige, I'll try. And then, thankfully, because I had that sideline experience dun sa dati kong company, that's what helped me land the job. And I guess, yung last bit of advice ko, huwag kayong mahihiya to ask around for help. I'm someone who was fortunate enough to have been able to study at DLSU under a scholarship. Kasi if you know what De La Salle University is, diba, typically kilala siya for having high tuition. Yun yeah. Of course, you need to study. But then there's nothing wrong with trying to aim high. So sabi ko, I'm not really sure kung makakapasok ko into the scholarship program, but sabi ko, nothing wrong with trying. And thankfully, nakapasa ako. And I think that was partially helped by asking some of my teachers nung high school din ako, nung LM ako, for help. Like, how do I get to this goal in the future, 'di ba? What are the things that will allow me to go there? So, sort of saying, tanong-tanong din kayo whether it's your your teachers, your other family members, um and also don't forget your friends. Kasi there is and this is something that was a lesson that was a bit hard for me to learn din kasi ako sariling anak ako is wala akong kapatid, wala akong masyadong kalaro. So sanay ako mag-isa. One thing that my parents always told me is that no man is an island. Meaning you will never, hindi ka dapat nag-isolate in-isolate yung sarili mo. You should go out and, talk to people. Kasi you never know down the line, potentially they might give you actually ideas and inspiration that you can then eventually use into your, innovation projects and whatnot. Or vice versa, pwede rin kayo yung magbigay ng ideas sa kanila. So, short of saying, ask for help when you need to. Kasi there's a lot of people around you. Not all of them will give you help, to be fair. But then, for the most part, diba, there's nothing wrong with trying to ask. Kasi more than 80% of the time, probably they'll give you what you need. So try. So, yeah.
Yes, thank you so much, Miss Rochelle. And actually, it's very um parang moving na to include prayers because at least even if we're young, 'di ba? There's a lot of parang we're not really blinded by the truth na we will stumble upon a lot of challenges though we do not fully understand it, though we don't have the full grasp of the situations. But of course, even as students, you undergo challenges in your everyday student lives, diba? And sometimes, divine prayers would really help as well. And then of course guidance. And I think one of the favorite things that Miss Rochelle told na I think that really reminded me, which is to always ask help and ask questions. I think we are doing this launch, having this conversation with people who are successful is because they want to impart also to you what they've learned. And then also which is again, don't hesitate to ask help from your teachers, from your mentors, from your parents, and also your friends, because sometimes no we get so focused and invested in our idea, in what we're working on, that we fail to see the blind spots, or how else we can improve our ideas, or even us as students. So I hope you take that into heart. Last but not the least, we have Doc Sheena. Okay.
Okay, for me, I'll share some strategies and final advice at the end. First, I think a lot in this Zoom meeting could relate na sobrang dami nating trabaho and responsibilities. Meron ba mga students or mga teachers or fellow? Di ba sobrang daming kailangan gawin? So, one of the things that I actually do kapag sobrang dami, I break these larger projects into smaller things. So, I have a manageable task to-do list, and then I try to check so I can see my progress and make them smaller. Kasi usually yung tendency, kapag yung nasa utak natin ay sobrang daming kailangan gawin, napaparalyze tayo. And then parang ayaw na nating gumalaw. And then kasi parang sobrang dami, doon pa lang nag-stop na tayo. So one strategy is break them down to smaller pieces. Usually kapag nakikita nyo yung nagpro-progress kayo, nagkakaroon kayo ng start ng momentum, and then eventually ma-realize nyo at the end of the day na-check nyo siya lahat. Diba? Instead of parang small steps can lead you there. So that's one. And then secondly, of course, dahil nga maraming kailangan gawin, you could prioritize the task to ensure that you meet the deadlines. Kasi in each task or in each competition, they always have these deadlines. Kung sobrang daming kailangan yung gawin, ilista nyo kung ano yung mga pinaka-important kasi time pressed na kayo. And then to the least important. And then kaya niyo yan guys, konti-konti. And then I really like collaboration. It's one thing I realized as I am growing old. Kapag kasi tumatanda na, wala ka na masyadong energy, wala ka na rin masyadong time. So usually things happen, or progress and innovation happen when you work together. So in this competitive world, let's be friends. Parang ganun siya. Usually sometimes we tend to compare ourselves to others, ganon. Minsan on how it goes to our mind ay mas magaling siya, ganon. But actually, if you see someone who's more intelligent than you or more better than you, that could actually serve as a blessing as well. So you can come to that person, ask for help, and you will learn from that person. So hindi naman always kailangan competition siya. So in this case, maybe you will join in this case, you will join a competition, but you still have a team within that competition. For example, you're composed of 5 members, and each and everyone would have their specialty. I remember back in college, we were trying to produce infographics every time. I think my talent is more on the technical and the information and the scientific side. But I do have some friends who are very, very good in drawings, making the infographics. I'm not very much talented in that. Kapag nagpakita ko sa inyo ng drawing ko, naku, i-judge nyo talaga. Hindi siya ganun kaganda. But then for other people, parang sobrang bilis lang. In an hour, they could produce something na you will really be proud of. Proud to publish that illustration. So in that case, I could say if you try to work together, syempre you always need to think that you have something to contribute. It's very important that you believe in yourself. You have something to contribute to the table because each and everyone has their own treasure, has their own talent. So, maniwala kayo sa sarili niyo, guys. And in some cases wherein you feel down or you feel like I'm not enough or hindi ako talaga magaling, I wanted to remind you that it's very normal. It does not happen to you only. It happens to me. It happens to people more brilliant than me. It happens to people who are Nobel Prize winners. Recently, I was able to talk to some of them, and even they feel stupid at some point in their life when they're changing their expertise, when they're changing fields. Kapag pa-start pa lang sila, something very new, they also feel na hindi sila magaling. So that's very normal. So I wanted it to be an encouragement for the students, no, to try and try. And don't be afraid to fail because it's an opportunity to learn and grow. In this case, you may join a competition and not everyone would win because maybe tatlo lang yung diba, yung places. But it doesn't mean that you should stop after just one time. Pa rin, stay curious pa rin and be resilient. We always have these experiences. Also, natetest din yung creativity nyo as parang as you grow older, you'll realize na from this idea, I have this better idea. Nag-improve lang siya continuously. So, be persistent. And as for my last thing to share, I think what I do personally lang is I adopt a mindset wherein I want to strive for excellence in the task that I am placed onto. No matter if that task is small, I think I always wanted to produce something which is excellent or I'm proud of. At least parang hindi ko mafe-feel na hindi ko ginawa yung best ko. Kasi usually pag ginawa ko yung best ko, wala na siyang regrets after. Kasi, okay, I did my best at this point. It just so happened that some other people have better ideas than me. But still, nandun pa rin yung sense of fulfillment with myself. And even so, meron pang last. Kasi baka ma-burn out din yung mga students later on. So always try to have a healthy body. I think that's still very important. Ayun, I think those are all my experiences and sharing. I hope may natutunan kahit isa lang. Again, I'm very happy to see a lot of students here. I'm already very proud of you for joining such competitions. Tuloy lang. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Doc Sheena. Actually, thank you so much, Dr. Sheena, Engineer Angelica, and also Miss Rochelle, our panelists today. How is our students? Can I get a heart react if you are still okay? If you're still ready, if you're inspired. Okay, a lot are sending hearts. Oh, okay. I'm very, very much happy that I hope you've gotten a lot of tips, strategies, okay? And I hope regardless of your outcomes after the program, I hope that you still push through with what your ideas and also to continue believing in yourself as Doc Sheena has mentioned because our first ever fans will always be ourselves. Okay? So I hope you learned a lot from our panel discussion today. We will be having a group photo first before we proceed with the rest of our program. So may I request everyone to turn on their cameras. And then our JA staff, Andrea, is here to guide our photo taking. Okay, can everyone turn on their cameras?
On my count of three po. 1, 2, 3.
Okay, smile.
Okay pa po. 1, 2, 3. Okay na po. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you so much again to our participants today. Please turn on your cameras, continue doing so. Now we're moving on to our next segment in our program, which is stories that inspire innovation. So, with this, showcases how the program has positively impacted our students, teachers, and communities over the years. You'll see real life examples of creativity, problem solving, and innovation in action. Stories of young learners taking initiative, applying what they've learned, and creating solutions that can make a difference. So, these stories not only highlight the achievements of our students, but also serve as a source of inspiration for everyone here, showing how curiosity, imagination, and dedication can lead to meaningful change. So, as we watch the video, we encourage you to reflect on the ideas and experiences shared, perhaps even think how you can contribute to the innovation and community development in your own way. Okay, let's roll the video.
Welcome to the Wisdom 2D Bridges Program Report. Let's dive into the impactful journey of empowering young women with disabilities in STEM 2D fields. STEM 2D Bridges, a collaboration between JA Philippines and Johnson & Johnson, aims to empower young women with disabilities in Bulacan and Parañaque to pursue rewarding careers in STEM 2D fields. Through workshops, training sessions, and mentorship programs, participants are introduced to opportunities in STEM field while cultivating essential skills. Let's hear from students as they share how the program changed their lives, empowered them to pursue their dreams, and embrace new opportunities.
Napakalaking impact nito sa buhay ko kasi sobrang nakatulong at akala ko wala na akong pag-asa, hindi ko na matutupad yung mga pangarap ko sa buhay.
Nagkakaroon pa ako tiwala sa aking sarili. Pag-asa, magkatrabaho.
The Wisdom 2D Bridges project symbolizes a commitment to inclusivity in STEM education. As we look ahead, let's continue advocating for inclusivity, diversity, and equal opportunities in STEM fields. Together, we are shaping a future where every individual can thrive in STEM.
Welcome to the EduComics Program Report for the year 2023 to 2024, a collaborative effort between JA Philippines and Johnson & Johnson. This innovative initiative aims to ignite the curiosity of grade 6 female students in the wonders of the science and technology field, all through the captivating medium of comics. On our third year, the program has seen remarkable growth, with the number of participating students reaching a staggering 21,092.
We wanted a solution that went beyond just powering our homes. It was about creating a sustainable and reliable sources of electricity.
In MPS, we move, we excel, we serve.
Thank you for joining us in this journey of creativity and learning. Until next time, keep dreaming, keep creating, and keep inspiring.
Okay, so did that give you a bit of excitement for this program? Okay, can I get a heart react? Okay. All right, so now let's move forward to the competition. So for our competition, we will have a tech innovation plan wherein you would tackle real-world problems using innovative technology. The outputs for this are an EduComic story and a project proposal. Okay? So the students will create a technology innovation plan through project proposals and a 10-panel EduComic presentation. So groups of 3 to 5 students will create and submit these plans, showcasing expertise and collaboration skills crucial for the professional world. Okay? Our theme for this year is very, very timely, which is strengthening disaster preparedness. Okay, as part of the competition, you will be creating a project proposal that includes project title or theme, problem statement, proposed technology and solution, objectives, methodology, limitations of the study, and conclusion and recommendation. Next, we have the 10-panel EduComic story. This is a fun and educational way to showcase how your innovation works. In the story, we follow your characters as they face the problem and demonstrate how your technology provides a solution. So don't worry, we will also be providing guidelines for the tech innovation plan to help you through the process. Our judging criteria emphasizes key qualities. We have creativity and originality, the uniqueness of the EduComic story concept, innovative approach in integrating STEM and storytelling, original ideas or solutions, not copied from existing materials, and engaging and age-appropriate presentation for 25%. For relevance and impact, we have the innovation or story, clearly addresses a real-life problem or community issue, connection to STEM themes, and shows potential positive impact on people, environment, or society for 25% as well. Next, we have STEM application and feasibility. So we have the practicality and logical use of STEM concepts, clear explanations of how the innovation works, feasibility of implementation, and then demonstration of understanding science or technology principles, again for 25%. We have the communication and storytelling, clarity and coherence of the comic story, ability to explain the innovation idea in a simple, relatable way, and visual and narrative appeal, which includes illustrations, flow, and readability with 15%. Last but not the least, we have teamwork and presentation. So equal participation and collaboration among team members, confidence, clarity, and enthusiasm in presentation, and then ability to respond to judges' questions for 10%. So that is a total of 100%. Next, these are the special awards that you can win. So we are pleased to present the special awards, which recognize students, teachers, and partners who have demonstrated exceptional creativity, dedication, and innovation throughout the program. We have the Best STEM Integration Award, Most Effective Use of STEM Principles. Best Sustainable Innovation Award, focused on environmental or social sustainability. Best Storytelling Award, Outstanding Comic Creativity and Emotional Impact. People's Choice Awards, based on audience votes for online or final showcase. Okay, so before we end today's session, we would now proceed to the awarding of certificates. So this certificate of recognition is proudly presented to Dr. Sheena Garcia in recognition of your valuable participation and commitment to educational excellence during the EduComics program kickoff and launch event. Your dedication to fostering student growth and embracing innovative educational practices demonstrates your unwavering commitment to shaping the future of our learners. So thank you for your active engagement and for being an integral part of our mission to spark dreams and inspire educational transformation. So with that, may I request a quick photo op with Dr. Sheena?
All right, po, on my count of 3, 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Dr. Garcia. Next, this certificate of recognition is proudly presented to Engineer Angelica Munar in recognition of your valuable participation and commitment to educational excellence during the EduComics program kickoff and launch event. So your dedication to fostering student growth and embracing innovative educational practices demonstrates your unwavering commitment to shaping the future of our learners. Thank you for your active engagement and for being an integral part of our mission to spark dreams and inspire educational transformation. So let's have our photo up.
On my count of three po. 1, 2, 3.
Okay, thank you. Engineer Angelica Munar. Thank you so much. And lastly, this certificate of recognition is proudly presented to Miss Rochelle De Chavez in recognition of your valuable participation and commitment to educational excellence during the EduComics program kickoff and launch event. So your dedication to fostering student growth and embracing innovative educational practices demonstrates your unwavering commitment to shaping the future of our leaders. So thank you for your active engagement and for being an integral part of our mission to spark dreams and inspire educational transformation. So thank you so much, Ms. Rochelle.
All right po. 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. De Chavez. And for our students and educators, you will also be receiving your certificates via email for attending today's kickoff event for the EduComics program. Don't forget to scan the QR code that's presented in your screens right now. If failure to fulfill the evaluation form means your attendance and no e-certificate. Okay, so do not forget to accomplish the evaluation form presented on your screens and sent to our chat box, as this will be our basis for your certificates. Okay, so before okay, so with that, okay, we are now concluding today's session and kickoff launch event. I want you to remember that we are embarking on a journey together. This is a start of a beautiful beginning, okay? And this is more than just running a program. We are part of a movement that will reshape the future of STEM education here in the Philippines. So each of you holds the key to unlocking the potential of young Filipino minds. So through this program, we're not just teaching, we don't just teach you science, technology, engineering, mathematics. We also showing you how you will become the innovators who will solve tomorrow's challenges. So with that, thank you so much, everyone. Let's have our final group photo. And don't forget, once again, to fulfill your evaluation form. So on behalf of JA Philippines, thank you so much. Let's turn on our cameras one last time and have our final group photo.
All right po. On my count of 3. 1, 2, 3. One more. 1, 2, 3. Last po. 1, 2, 3.
All right. Thank you so much on behalf of JA Philippines. Thank you so much also, Johnson and Johnson. I would like to acknowledge your presence once again. Thank you for being here and joining us for our EduComics kickoff. To our panelists, to our teachers, our students, thank you so much for being here today on behalf of JA Philippines. Thank you so much. Once again, this has been Nats, and then with me is Andrea. Thank you, and we wish you a good day. Don't forget to fill out the forms. Thank you so much, everyone. Sorry, there is also a registration form, so don't forget to fulfill that as well. Thank you so much. Hello to our students. I see you. I hope you learned a lot. Thank you so much po, teachers. To those who are sharing one devices, thank you. Thank you.